everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Grace and I'm going to talk about some of my favorite comfort reads. I'm going to talk about 10 of them, and I hope that maybe you'll find one or two that you really connect with. Also cat ears, because I think at this point I'm filming this beginning of April and I'm currently going on quarantine day number 18. Right? I think I currently haven't really seen many other people around in a little while. The cat ears just kind of seemed like a good idea this morning. Chai tea. Right here. So, the very first one I want to tell you guys about is a book called Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. Fangirl is a comfort read for me because the main character, Kath, is so freaking relatable. She is super shy, she's super nerdy, she's very, very introverted. She could sit in her room all day long and write stories and never see another human being and she would be totally, completely happy. However, this book starts off with her first day as a freshman in college. And she's moving into her dorm room and meeting all these new people. So this book is basically just about Kath navigating being a freshman in college and all that that implies and all the new experiences that she's absolutely terrified of and all the new people that she's absolutely terrified of. And even it's just about her figuring out who she is. But okay, another reason I absolutely love this book, all right, is because since she's a fan fiction writer, not only do you get to read about Kath, but you also get glimpses inside of this whole fan fiction world inside of her head. And so like there's multiple chapters that just take place in her own world and it's amazing. It's so fun. The very next one I have for you is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. Okay. This actually is a comfort read for me because it is a social and political commentary. So yes, this book is about an outer space adventure, but it is written in a way to be extremely, extremely relatable to all of our current circumstances. Main character's name is Arthur Dent, and at the very beginning of the story, he is standing in front of a bulldozer that wants to smash his house down in order to make way for a highway to get built. As the story progresses, this character named Ford comes and tells Arthur that he needs to vacate planet Earth because planet Earth is about to be destroyed to make way for an interstellar highway. This situation just goes from bad to worse as Arthur has to flee not only his home on planet Earth, but then planet Earth as well. This is a comfort read for me because pretty much all the situations Arthur finds himself in are just 100% relatable to things that are going on in the real world. Alright, the very next one I have for you guys is Cinder by Marissa Meyer. It is a retelling of Cinderella, all except it's science fiction, and the main character is a cyborg. Yes, it's Cinderella as a cyborg. And it's, oh my goodness, just the creativity in this book is just amazing. This author Marissa Meyer did a great, fantastic job combining a science fiction world building with a cute fairy tale story. So there you go, Cinder by Marissa Meyer. One side note I do want to bring up about Cinder though is there is an epidemic, pandemic kind of situation going on in Cinder. So due to current events, if that kind of thing triggers you right now, just because we are in the middle of a pandemic situation currently at the beginning of April 2020, so you might want to skip this one if that kind of situation is bothering you. The next one I have for you guys is Nevermore by Marissa Meyer. Okay, this is a comfort read for me because of the level of imagination that was put into this book. Okay, so the main character, her name is Morgan Crow, and Morgan Crow is cursed because she was born on Eventide, which is one of the most unlucky days of the year. Okay, so she was born on Eventide and she is cursed. Everything bad that happens in her town is blamed on her and her curse because her town thinks that she is actually cursing the town because she's cursed and she lives in the town, right? Well, anyway, it's kind of been a rough life for her growing up. But one day there's this character named Jupiter North that shows up and offers to rescue Morgan from this curse by taking her to the magical land of Nevermore. Of course, Morgan takes him up on it and she follows Jupiter North to Nevermore, but then in Nevermore she ends up having to compete in a bunch of trials in order to win the right to stay in Nevermore. But also, this cat. this cat in the window is a ginormous cat. It's a ginormous sentient cat, is one of the main characters, and they're called Magnificats. Oh my gosh, just the imagination and the creativity of the characters and the world, and just ginormous sentient cats called Magnificats. Like, I can't even. Alright, so the very next one I have for you is The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. The Hobbit is a comfort read for me, mainly because of the character of Bilbo. Bilbo is such a remarkable main character, and he's such a simple creature. Like, hobbits are such simple creatures, but at the same time, they're so extraordinary and there's absolutely nothing simple about them. I love Bilbo because he's so grounded, and even like when he's freaking out and having freak out moments, like he does it in a very grounded kind of logical way. And I love that. I love Bilbo's mind. I love the way he sees the world, and I love the way he thinks. Also, hobbits in Lord of the Rings, especially Bilbo, are known for their courage. And whenever I reread The Hobbit, because I reread The Hobbit quite often. This is a very loved edition of The Hobbit. I have reread this book quite a few times in my life, actually. And I always just feel so encouraged just from reading from Bilbo's point of view, because he is so courageous and he has so much courage. The very next one I have for you is called Eliza and Her Monsters. Now, okay, Eliza is the main character of this one, and in the real world, Eliza is super shy, she's super awkward, and she doesn't have any friends. However, online, she is the creator of this really popular webcomic all about monsters, okay? And I freaking love this book. First of all, because I actually can really relate to Eliza in some ways. And I love Eliza because she's such a creative genius. She loves to write, she loves to draw, and she just comes up with these stories that are just so creative and so out there. Like, her brain is so creative as you're reading from her perspective. She goes off on all these really creative, imaginative tangents, and she's just imagining, and she's like, what if I lived in a sewer? If I lived in a sewer, then I would be a supervillain and the sewer could be my lair. It's so similar to the way my brain works, because my brain does that too. And so I think this book was such a comfort read for me because it helped me feel more normal. Does that make sense? Like, if you're a super creative and imaginative person, sometimes in the world of normal people, you don't always feel normal, right? You feel a little weird and a little off and a little awkward and a little odd, just like Eliza feels. The next one I have for you is actually a graphic novel. It's a Batman graphic novel called Hush. This is actually one of my personal favorite Batman graphic novels, okay? And I think it's one of my favorites because so many main characters make cameos. All right, you've got Huntress, you've got Catwoman, Batman and Superman go head to head again, like, you know, like they do. Super Dog makes an appearance, and Nightwing's there, and Robin's there. Anyway, basically, it follows your basic Batman plot line. There is an evil villain that is uniting all of the other evil villains together. I love watching the entire cast of Batman take on the entire villains cast of Batman, and it's epic. Hush is another one of my favorite comfort reads. The very next one is Attachments by Rainbow Rowell. The main character, his name is Lincoln, and Lincoln is an internet security officer for his company. Basically what he does is he has to scan emails to make sure that nobody's breaking company email violations, mainly just making sure there's no dirty jokes and like things like that in these emails. One day, an email from a gal named Jennifer to a gal named Beth gets flagged and sent to Lincoln to review. And Lincoln reads it and he knows that he should report it because they're best friends and they're just they're not talking about company business, they're talking about their personal lives. But he can't bring himself to flag it, so he doesn't. But then emails back and forth from these two best friends keep getting flagged and keeps getting sent to him. So he's kind of like reading their whole life. And this story, basically, it follows Lincoln and it follows his life and his self-discovery of who he is and things like that. But it also follows Jennifer and Beth and their relationship and their life through Lincoln's eyes, reading these emails. And it's so fun, and I think it's super cute. A lot of people, I do want to know that a lot of people have mentioned that it feels stalkery, and it feels like this book has a lot of like stalker kind of vibes, because Lincoln is reading their emails and he's thinking about the girls, and he's thinking about their life, and he's actually kind of moved by things in their story. And some people say that it's kind of stalkery and creepy, but I personally, I didn't get stalkery vibes from it. Anyway, some people have found that, say that that's there, but I don't know. It wasn't my personal experience reading it. I love Beth and I love Jennifer, and they're so hilarious, and their dialogues back and forth are so funny. I laughed out loud so many times. They're both so unique and so interesting, and they're fun people to read their emails. They're fun people to watch. So anyway, Attachments by Rainbow Rowell is another one of my main comfort reads. Another one I have for you guys is going to be Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. Okay. So this book is a comfort read for me, mainly because of the writing style. It is written in such a way to where it completely sucks you in. This place at this inn called the Waystone Inn, and dude, you can literally hear the sign of the Waystone creaking in the breeze outside as you're reading this book. Like, it is that kind of environmentally just rich, and it just sucks you in so completely into the environment. And like, you can practically taste the stew as you're reading. You know, I almost said as you're eating it, but you're not eating it. You're just reading about characters eating it. You can taste the stew. You can hear the wind outside. Like, it's that kind of book. And that's why it's a comfort read for me, is because it just sucks you in so completely with the writing style. So, all right. Cove is the main character, and he is a wizard. He's actually a wizard in hiding at the beginning of this book. He is hiding at the Waystone Inn, and he is hiding as the owner of the Waystone Inn, actually. But one day, there's this scribe who comes to the Waystone Inn and starts kind of prodding him to get his life story. So Cove eventually agrees, and he starts telling this scribe his life story, and it's about him as a kid growing up in magic school and learning to become a wizard and learning magic, and it's all about this magic school. So anyway, Name of the Wind, the story jumps between things happening at the inn, and it also takes place at this magic school, and as Cove is telling his story, and it's wonderful. It's just wonderful. This magic school is one of my absolute favorite magic schools I've ever read about. It's so rich and so atmospheric. And it's so fun, and it's so creative. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love this. Now, a side note, trauma, death, and grief are actually a big part of Cove's life story. And if right now those things trigger you, because especially what's going on in the world at the moment, it just a side note, it might be a little heavy for for current world events. Anyway, but other than that, it's a great book, and highly, 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 highly recommend it. It's actually my favorite book of all time. Just throwing it out there. My absolute favorite book of all time, hands down. So the very last one I have for you guys is Harry Potter. Anyway, Harry Potter is such a comfort read for me, personally, because every time I pick it up to read it, I feel like I'm instantly transported into another world. And I feel like all the main characters at this point are like my best friends. Like Harry, Hermione, Ron, I feel like I know them all. Hagrid, oh my goodness, I feel like I know them all so well, and I love them all so much, and I feel like I'm just so invested in their lives, and I'm so invested in Harry, and I'm so invested in the Weasleys and their family, and I feel like I'm even a part of their family a little bit, because I feel like I've been to dinner at their table so many times, and looked at their clock to see who's coming home, and traveled through their fireplace, and I don't know, I feel like I know these people, and I know this place, and every time I sit down to pick up a Harry Potter book, it feels like I'm going back home. I'm going back to a safe place with loving people, and people that I fit in with, and people that know me really well, and just the magic systems I absolutely love, and Harry as a character is so super relatable. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, hit that subscribe button for me, because I would love to see more of your face, and I want you to get to be able to see more of my face. Also, give me a like. Anyway, I love you, and you are so absolutely freaking beautiful. And I'm gonna see you in the next video. Bye!